Word 1, arbitrate. Part of speech, verb, arbitrated, arbitrates, arbitrating. The meanings are, to give to an arbitrator to decide, settle by arbitration. To act as an arbitrator, in a dispute, between persons, to decide a dispute, as an arbitrator. Example sentences, for example, UCA litigate in court and concurrently arbitrate. It is her intention to travel to the capital at Coruscant to ask the Republic's government to arbitrate the dispute. The local modem would then arbitrate with the distant modem for use of the telephone line. Word 2, disapprobation. Part of speech, noun. The meanings are, disapproval. Example sentences, I was assailed by one cry of reproach, disapprobation, and even detestation. I never heard my daughter express any disapprobation at being married. Word 3, grate. Part of speech, verb, grated, grates, grating. The meanings are, to grind into shreds or particles by rubbing or scraping. To rub against an object, with a harsh, scraping sound. To grind the teeth, together with a rasping sound. Part of speech, noun, grates. The meanings are, grating. A framework of parallel or latticed bars for blocking an opening. A fireplace. Part of speech, adjective. The meanings are, obsolete, serving to gratify, agreeable. Example sentences, you can also grate some root ginger into a cup of hot water or add plenty of chopped ginger to your food. For coughs, grate a clove of garlic and mix with honey. The Yugo dog, this is a far sleeker unit that is comprised of a grate system that sits on top of a pan. Word 4, lurk. Part of speech, noun. The meanings are, the act of lurking. Part of speech, verb, lurked, lurking, lurks. The meanings are, to wait out of view. Thieves lurking in the shadows. To stay hidden, ready to spring out, attack, etc., lie in wait. To move furtively. Example sentences, it is always best to lurk first and read all the rules and policies before joining the discussions. It was tempting to lurk behind one of these green lights and make like a panto villain, but I thought better of it. Blake reveals the dark underbelly where danger and murder lurk in the shadows. Word 5, minutiae. Part of speech, noun. The meanings are, a minor detail, often of negligible importance. They spend all their time on minutiae, never making real progress. Example sentences, as noted previously, in the future much of what you do will leave a digital echo, a record of its occurrence, down to the very minutiae of your life. Dean spent most of the evening flipping through TV channels, but as none of the inane programs held even minimal interest, he took out his voice recorder and began summarizing his notes for the detailed report on Jeffrey Byrne, adding as much minutiae as he could muster, as Cynthia Byrne had requested. Some hosts prefer to give a planner only general ideas and guidelines, and let them arrange most of the minutiae, while others are far more involved and only rely on the planner's expertise when they are unable to manage. Word 6, recidivism. Part of speech, noun. The meanings are, the repeating of or returning to criminal behavior by the same offender or type of offender. Example sentences, we got into the untenable position of arguing that recidivism was an entirely structural affair. Recommittals were frequent and recidivism on the increase. Can improved access to education in our prisons really reduce recidivism? Word 7, render. Part of speech, noun, renders. The meanings are, a payment, usually in goods or services, as for rent in feudal times. One who rents. Part of speech, verb, rendered, rendering, renders. The meanings are, to give up, surrender. To render up a city to the enemy. To give in return or requital. To render good for evil. To deliver or pronounce formally. Render a verdict. Example sentences, doing so may render invalid any purported acceptance of the offer. Most hardware accelerators will directly render polygons to scenes, therefore freeing up processor time for other tasks. Conversely, too little acidity can render a flat taste to the wine. Word 8, sage. Part of speech, interjection. The meanings are: internet slang, word used in the email field of image boards to prevent a bump of the post. Used as an option rather than a word in some image board software. Part of speech, noun, sages. The meanings are: the leaves of S. officinalis used as a seasoning. Any of various similar plants. Sagebrush. Part of speech, verb. The meanings are: internet slang, the act of using the word or option sage in the email field or a checkbox of an image board when posting a reply. Example sentences: the ideal sage has receded, philosophy comes as a physician, not to the whole but to the sick. You can also use a smudge stick, which is a bundle of sage that is burned. Hebenstrecia, interesting little plants allied to the sage family, mainly suitable for botanical collections. Word 9, troglodyte. Part of speech, noun, troglodytes. The meanings are: the wren, troglodytes troglodytes. A person characterized by reactionary or antiquated attitudes. A non-human ape. Not in scientific use. Example sentences: there are many troglodyte villages in the Costa Almeria. Dating back to the 7th century, these troglodyte homes and villages are a feature of this area. Word 10, instant. Part of speech, adjective. The meanings are: urgent, pressing. Without delay, immediate. To demand instant obedience. Soon to happen, imminent. Part of speech, adverb. The meanings are: at once, instantly. In the present month, yours of the 13th day, instant received. Poetic, at once, immediately. Part of speech, noun. The meanings are: a point or very short space of time, moment. The current month. Your letter of the 15th instant. A food or beverage designed for quick preparation. Example sentences: in an instant he had her down and pinned to the floor. Customers also enjoy the convenience of instant online approval. Alternatively, use instant mash made up with whole milk and added cream cheese, grated cheese, cream or butter.